conducting your own evac test. It's really pretty simple to do. The first thing you need to do is to get a baseline test, and then you need to get a test with the evac system running. And in both tests you want to make sure that if the television was on for one day, it needs to be on for the next, and keep the electrical on the rest of your house pretty consistent. And then what you will start off doing is to record the kilowatt reading on your meter and write it down. And then record the temperatures inside your house and outside your house if you can. And then turn on your air conditioning. Let it run for 2 hours, and then record the ending time. Subtract the starting time from the ending time, and you'll know how many kilowatts you used. And then if you record the ending temperatures, then you'll know how many kilowatts of electricity you used to drop your air conditioning by what amount. Then you can run an evac test, and it's the same test. Record your kilowatt, record your inside and outside if you can temperatures, and then run your air conditioning with the evac running until you reach the same low temperature that you got from your first day. When you reach that temperature, go back and see how many kilowatts you used. It'll make a lot of sense as I show you how we did it in our test. The first thing you do in conducting your own test is to read your electrical meter. This meter is saying that it is 5809, that means May 8th, and it is 1330, so that's 1:30 in the afternoon. And the total kilowatt usage is 39,173. So there's our base point. The next step is to set a thermometer someplace in the middle of your house so you can record the results. So this thermometer is saying that it's 108.7 outside and 80.4 inside. Now the next thing we'll do is turn on the air conditioners. This house has two ACs, so there's two thermostats. First one is digital, it's showing 80 degrees, and so we just lift the cover, turn on cool, and that air conditioner will come on. The second thermostat is still an old Mercury mechanical, and you can read it, and it says it's just under 80 degrees. And so we're going to turn that cooling system on. Now, real quick note here, I want you to pay attention. The mechanical is less sensitive than the digital. Everyone is switching over to the digitals. But you need to know that air conditioners don't reach peak efficiency until they've run for 30 minutes. So those digital thermostats are like in-town driving. They cycle on a short cycle, in-town driving. If you can develop the habit to cool your house in the morning to as cold as you can take it, 65 or 70, and then turn off everything, and then in the afternoon when it gets up to 80, turn it on for an hour, and then turn it off, and then turn it on when it gets back to 80 again. And you'll save a great deal of electricity just by capitalizing upon the efficiency inherent in air conditioners. Both air conditioners are running, but there's no water coming out of the misters because we turned off the water supply. This is the first half of the test. It is still the 8th of May, 2009. The time is now at 15:32, so that's 3:32. The AC's been on for 2 hours. And the new kilowatt reading is 39,187. Now we can hold this for our baseline and test again tomorrow and see what the difference is. The temperature right now, it's still 105.4 outside, 76.3 inside. So there's our reference points. We'll test with evac on tomorrow. So here's the summary from our baseline test on the test we ran. We had a starting kilowatt reading of 39,173, an ending kilowatt of 39,187. So that means we used 14 kilowatts to cool the house from 80 degrees down to 76 degrees. So that we used 14 kilowatts to cool the house 4 degrees. Now we're running the evac test and we'll see what those results are. Okay, we're recording the meter for the day 2 test of the evac system, and now it's May 9th. It is 12:41, so we're starting a little bit earlier because the house got warm a little bit faster today because it's a little bit hotter. And the reading is 39,231. The house temperature is 80.4 and the outside temperature is 102.0. So I guess it's not quite as hot outside, but it's close enough. We'll start the test. First thermostat says 80, and we're turning on the air conditioner. Second thermostat says almost 80, and so we're going to turn it on. Both air conditioners are running. You can see the pads are wetting out. And now we wait and see how long it takes to cool it down with evac running. We reached the goal temperature of 76.3, an outside temperature reading of 109.4. And I think I'm getting some thermal mass reading out of that outside temperature, but 76.3 is the number we're after. Let's go read the meter. The meter reading is, it's still May 9th. It is 14:08, so that's 2:08 in the afternoon. And the kilowatt usage is, wait for it, 39240. Now we can do some math. Now it's time to do some math and see what our savings really are. On the first day we did a baseline test where we measured the kilowatt start, kilowatt end, and found out that we used 14 kilowatts to reduce the house temperature from 80 down to 76. And then we ran the evac, and we started off with a first kilowatt reading of 39,231, and we just read the meter at 39,240. So we used 9 kilowatts to reduce the house temperature from 80 to 76. So if you subtract 9 from 14, you end up with 5 kilowatts that we saved. And to turn that into a percentage of savings, you just divide 5 by 14, and it turns into 36% savings. And 36% is more than 25, so we're doing pretty good, aren't we?